Hey, good evening, everybody. Thank you for joining me. I know a lot of you are probably like, hey, I thought you weren't doing true crime anymore. What are you doing live? Well, I made a decision. We're going to do it. We're going to balance it. And this evening, I have a guest, and we're going to talk to him about his experience. And you may know the name Dylan Tallman. He, yes, is the former cellmate of Chris Watts. But we are not going to just sit here tonight and ramble on and on about Chris Watts. We want to talk about Dylan. We want to talk about Dylan's experience in the prison system. And we also want to talk about important things like, why is the prison system in Wisconsin so messed up? So I'm going to bring Dylan up on stage with me. Welcome in. Thank you for joining me. So we've been talking about doing this for a while now, and it was interesting. I was thinking about you over the holiday, and I was like, you probably haven't experienced a lot of holidays like most of us have. You have been in the system and haven't maybe experienced that. So I was thinking like, wow, this must be really special Christmas for you. Was it?
Yes. It was my first one since 2007.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so, and this was in Dodge, correct?
No. I was out here for Christmas.
But originally you were the facility you were in.
Yeah, I was in Dodge a few times. I was in Portage, which is a max CCI. It's there's a few maxes in Wisconsin. There's Waupun, where you had that interview about.
Yes.
And then there's CCI, Columbia Correctional Institution. That's where Jeffrey Dahmer and his cellie got killed at. There's a lot of stuff that happens there too that's crazy. Like I won a lawsuit there for some mistreatment there actually deliberate indifference and excessive force. Yeah, there's a lot of that going on.
Yeah, and I want to talk about that tonight. And I also want to talk about it because people are going to ask, and I want to preface this. A lot of people didn't want me to interview you, Dylan. They said he just wants to promote his book. He just wants to make money. I believe everyone has a story to tell. That is the type of person I am. And you have a story to tell. You've had this experience. You are out now. You are trying to change your life, and you are now building this YouTube channel. And tell us a little bit about that. I'm going to put that up here so that people can also follow you and subscribe to your channel.
So, I mean, when I was in prison, everybody would beguile their time by playing cards or trying to talk to a woman who can't really do anything for them, or just things that aren't going to get them anywhere in life. And I'm like, man, I got to do something. The only thing I could do is work for 10 cents an hour. And by the time I got out, I'd have enough for a damn sweater and a box of cakes. So I'm like, let me write. People who write, I could write books. Like my thing, I used to do music many years ago. There's no studios in prison. So one of my friends is like, what are you going to do, man, to get back on something, man? And that's when I decided to write a book. I wrote my first one and published it in 2013. And then just to do it. And then I stuck to it. And now I just like a couple years ago, I just took it to the next level, and I have like 8 books now. I just
and I think that's a huge accomplishment. A lot of people always set this goal to write a book, And it's like this idea in their head that never transpires into something. And it's really amazing that you did it, and you did it behind bars, which made it
Yeah.
difficult. And you already know this. I did interview Jamie, who was a publisher on one of your books. We'll go ahead and pull that up.
He wasn't
What's
Amazon. I published through. She helped me make my profile, and when I got out, she got mad because of a female I was talking to, whatever. But we weren't an item or anything, nothing like that. But she unpublished all my books without my permission, and I am my own publisher. Tallman is the publisher. And
well, when I say publisher, I mean she was the one. It kind of, because you don't have access to the internet in there, right?
no,
You know what I mean? So she was more like helping take
yeah,
these written notes that you did and help kind of transcribe those and put that together, and also help you kind of connect with Chris Watts's family and interview the Watts family, for some of this book. So that's what I mean by publisher. I mean,
yeah,
helping you with the process of getting it out there on Amazon.
yeah. She blessed me with that and helped me do everything I needed to do, and then took all that from me, and I had to redo it. So that's no longer the cover. I sent you
Okay.
a picture of the Cell Next Door, which is part 1, 2, and 3 all in one. Actually, you can get them all in one book. It's got Dodge on the cover with a mirror. And then Day One is my other book that just came out this month.
Okay.
Called Day One by Tallman.
Let me hold that.
Yeah, I sent you it in our thread.
Okay. And where can people buy the books now? Okay,
Amazon.
Is this the one that says sell and it's like really black, bold letters?
Yes.
Okay. I was worried that this was like not really the book, so I didn't save this picture, but I will. Okay, I will go ahead and pull this up. So you were kind of writing books already before you met Chris Watts, correct?
Correct. When we were celled up side by side, I was like, "Hey man, we used to pray at night, and he would pray, and it sounded. I'd be like, man, is that written? Because it sounded really good." And he's like, "No, I just come up with these." I'm like, "You should write a couple of those down." He did, and then I'm like, I was writing that's when I wrote Poetic Knowledge, God's Plan. I showed him what I was writing, and I was like, "You should write one too. We could write a book." And I showed him I already have a book published, and that's how our God's Plan Book of Books series came about. But I started to realize when we were writing those that he felt comfortable talking. We used to study the Bible and everything a lot and talk about scripture all day long. We used to talk in scripture. He felt comfortable when speaking in scripture, and sometimes he would vent about his cases and things that would happen, personal things and I'd be like, "Bro, you know what you're talking about? Here, and here." And he'd be like, "Yeah," but he's kind of giving a truth with the truth because he's all about bringing people to Christ and stuff like that. But
do
that's
you
how
feel that he was speaking in scripture because he was nervous about talking openly about this case?
Yes, and that's why those books, only one of them came out and then unpublished. He didn't sign what I needed him to sign for me to continue with it. So
right.
I just went ahead and wrote.
Do you think maybe he got spooked about kind of saying too much, coming out with too much? Because we are 8 years out and people are still talking about this case.
Yep, because this was 2020 when we wrote them, and I published 2025. That was 2025. Yeah, or 2024.
So I have this one up on the screen. This is the newer version. Tell me a little bit about your relationship with Chris, because I've seen your past interviews, and from what I have heard from people, they are like, I cannot believe that this person did this. Do you still feel that way?
Yeah, I mean, the type of his character, like, not he's. I just still I don't understand it how he did that when, because like if I didn't know he did that, he's. I'd be like, wow, it's a really good dude. He doesn't even swear. He's not even like. He's definitely like not a criminal in it. Like any like he don't. It seems like he don't belong in there. He's not. He doesn't fit in at all.
Fit in.
He's not
Yeah.
for that environment. But then you think like, how did this? That's. I'm still speechless.
And it's interesting because you're really not the first person to say that, and you were, in close proximity. And right now I have up on the screen Nicole Kessinger, and I know this is someone that you two talked about, and he used the code word Jezebel, which is a reference in the Bible to kind of have these conversations about her. Just from my standpoint, I feel like he loves this woman and will always love this woman. That's just kind of the perspective I get from this, and obviously the influence of why he did what he did. In your opinion, after building a relationship with Chris, do you feel she had more involvement?
Yes. She, I mean, that was his girlfriend, and part of the reason, like, none of this would have happened if he wasn't having an affair with her.
Mm-hmm. And I will cut in and say this just for our own protection. This live stream is for entertainment purposes only. And we're just going to preface it with that. But yeah, go ahead and continue with your thoughts. Okay, so it was his girlfriend. They were close. They were talking hours on end every single day, for what, 2 months or so?
Like 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you feel her involvement is? Do you think it went all the way from planning and plotting, or just more of an influence of like, Chris, you need to do something?
Well, the only thing she wanted him was to do was leave his family for her, but not murder them and bury them in oil tanks and what he did.
Right.
That's a little extreme, very extreme.
Right.
I don't condone in murdering women or children or anybody. Just so everybody knows, I'm not out here supporting any of that.
Right. And I think that's the hard part when you talk about this case and you talk about him. If you have any sympathy for him or have any understanding, you will get criticized. You will get hated. I've had experience where people are like, how can you defend his mother? And I'm like, his mother and father had nothing to do with his actions. I think we're all trying to piece together what drove him to do this. There is no denying he did what he did, but I think we all want to know why. And is someone else involved that has gotten away with it?
As far as her having the information that she said she didn't have, I mean, why would she delete her WhatsApp messages before going into an interview she didn't know she was going to have with authorities?
Yeah. all of it very, very strange. And it is frustrating to see the Rusick family kind of continue to stand by and say she had nothing to do with it, and say, we have evidence that you as the public have not been able to see, and that is why we believe she's innocent. And that's what I think is frustrating people in Frederick, Colorado, and people across the world. I mean, we just have someone right here in chat here watching from the UK, and they just want answers. They just want some closure on this. And obviously, we know she has not gone out and spoken about anything. Nor probably will she. So I think there's always going to be this mystery behind this case.
Yes, quite a mystery. It's people ask me a lot of questions about it. Like I try to, just from what conversations, a lot of conversations I've had with them about it, because shortly after we got to Dodge, we did our time together, and we're pretty productive with our writing and everything, but we did talk about the case a lot because he was planning to appeal, but he never filed that, ended up never filing the motion. Like, it seems like when he went to general population and got away from me, he started to get around the lifers, because it's a lot of lifers in Dodge that are comfortably doing their time, and he got around people who are like accepted their time. He started to accept his time, and like he would tell me things like, I feel like I belong here, like God put me here. And I'm like, no. Like, fight your stuff, man. There's like stuff, that facts that never came to light that he was supposed to bring to light, and he never did.
Right.
He just accepted it. And I still don't agree with it, but it is what it is. That's where he.
Yeah, it's definitely frustrating to see that this case didn't get investigated the way other cases have been. We saw Tammy Lee, one of the FBI investigators, even say, I felt like this case stopped as soon as he made the confession, and we didn't even get to investigate the case. Like the government says the case is closed, the money, the funding stops. There's so many parts into this where everything just halted and stopped and left people with unanswered questions, for sure.
Yeah.
Talking a little more about, I'm going to pull up that handbook, and I'll never forget when Chris did letters to Christopher with Sherilyn Cadle. He said when he saw this book for the first time, that's when it really hit him that he is going to be there for the rest of his life. He's never going to go to a funeral again for a family member or anything like that. Tell me a little bit about what Dodge is like.
My first time through there was in 2010. It was a long, long hallway. Seems like it's a mile long. There's like 2,000 people. It's an intake for prisoners in Wisconsin that go, like, it's like for like, okay, people that are doing their time comfortably. The general population part is people that are doing their time like comfortably, and workers that run the whole prison. But it's like, it's like it gets you prepared like for getting staffed and your needs and everything, and like where you need to go from there. That's basically what Dodge is. It's a holding facility for inmates.
And you were in they called it, they called it a pod. And it was about like 10 cells. And it might be for someone who has
20.
mental health issues, maybe someone who has cancer, things like that. What do they call that area?
Unit 11, the SMU unit, the special management unit for
Okay.
if you're disabled or if you have high risk or mental health or high profile, like
No, when
Chris.
you said Chris went into general population, do you mean like with rec time, or do you mean, I mean, did he get released into
Went to
general population?
another unit in Dodge down the hall with the people that are staffed there to
Right.
stay there.
How did, I mean, is that just like an hour a day, or has he been moved to general population?
He's in general population, so he's a maximum security inmate. But if you're staffed in Dodge, you're treated like a medium staffed inmate. You get out of your cell all day, and you have a lot of freedoms and everything, and you work with. Last I knew, he was working in the infirmary.
And,
Like
and
now,
he's,
I think he's at rec now, working in rec.
so he is
I don't
not
know.
like locked down 24 hours a day and only getting like an hour out anymore?
No, he was with
Okay.
me, but we got out 1 hour in the morning and sometimes an hour and a half at night on Unit 11.
That's really interesting, because I was under the assumption that he was still,
No,
in the smaller pod of, you said 20, I always thought it was 10 other inmates. So do you think that is a personal choice that he was pushing for so that he could socialize more and have more of a social life?
no, they kept coming to him like, "You ready to go to General Pop?" He was gonna wait till I left, but we got in trouble for unauthorized transfer of property and unauthorized forms of communication because I had him calling my family and stuff because when I was on cell confinement, because I squared up with a guy in the day room I was gonna fight because he went and stole some stuff out of Chris's room, and I'm like, I had to I had to check this dude for that, and then I ended up getting locked down for 16 days, and I had him making calls for me because I wasn't allowed to use a phone.
Right. And I know
And
there was, we're just going to throw it out there because there was the Daily Mail article where, and Dylan, I work in the news industry. So
yeah,
I know that people try to make things juicier for clicks and to sell ads,
yeah,
things like that. And, I read the report and it was like, Chris bought you things because he probably had money to spend. I'm sure people
I
are
put
sending
money
him
on his
money.
books too that I could
Right.
use his account because they took 100% from me for filing too many lawsuits. Federal filing fees, they take 20% consecutively. So I had like 10 of those. So every piece of money I got, they took. So I put money
Is
on his
just
books.
taken automatically. Like the government
Order,
takes
yeah.
it out of your bank account.
But
Right.
I was ordering hygiene, and you can't when you're on A&E status like me. I wasn't a staffed inmate. I was still on a PO hold. I was there because I was unmanageable in the county, and I I had them ordering me like clothes and stuff. I don't want to wear like people's that wore the same underwear and
Right.
clothes and stuff. Like, so I had him buy me stuff out the catalog. They stamp your DOC number and your name in the clothes. So
Right.
that's how
And
all
so
that came
they
about.
find a pair of underwear that says his name on it. And of
Yeah.
course, Daily
Then they
Mail runs
blew
with
that
it
shit up.
and tries,
Yeah.
sure, and tries to make this story that you are his gay lover. And I just, I have no problem, with gay homosexuality, but it's always that
No.
prison joke, right? And I
Yeah.
felt like, damn, like it just, I
Nope.
I felt I felt for you, when I saw that, because I was like,
I laughed when I
he
saw
he
that.
bought him stuff, and of course because of what the items were, and like I'm kind of here looking at the canteen thing. We can talk a little bit about that too, how that works. But obviously people blew that up into something, like you said, that it wasn't. And of course it's juicy, and they're going to run with it. So how often could you go to the, well, actually, before I go to that, going back to the general population, wouldn't he be a risk, though, being in general population, to be attacked by someone else?
I mean, yeah, it's prison, but they
Right.
can't stop. You can't stop that. But he's safe in there. The Dodge is sweet. It's not like other Maxes at all.
Okay.
I just got out of Max again, and it is nothing like that. It. I was in Portage CCI, and
Okay. And we're gonna talk
he
about
would
that
not be
prison here
straight.
coming
He
up
would
too.
not be okay there. He would, like there. He would not be comfortable with where he's at. Yeah, he's straight. And
So you don't think like there's people in there that, well, like he doesn't have a target on his back, just being like, I guess part of me would think he would want to be in general population to socialize, but then there's another part of me that'd be like, no, he's scared because there's a target on his back.
the Dodge is no, he's not scared there. Dodge, he's fine there. I've been there 3 times since he's been there. Yeah. And I've
How
seen
is
him
your
every time.
relationship? How is your relationship with him now? Do you guys still talk?
Not as much, hardly. Like it's been a while. We've been out of touch since I got out.
Do you
I've
feel
talked to
like
his
you
parents.
had a falling out, or you're just kind of distancing yourself from?
Kind of grew apart. He gave up on the path we were on, basically, and I went another path, and we just. I'll reach out to him. I was thinking about reaching out to him, seeing what he's up to. I talked to his dad like a month ago about
Yeah.
and Cindy and his mom.
I personally,
his dad retired. He doesn't work no more.
yeah.
Ronnie.
And I know he had a major heart attack. And to me, everyone is a victim in this. They lost their grandchildren. I think, I'll say this. I don't know how much you've gotten into this case, Dylan, but when Chris's parents made a lot of the comments they did, they had not talked to him yet, and they didn't really know how intense this was and what happened. And Cindy has gotten a lot of hate for saying, I love my son, I forgive you no matter what you did. Well, they didn't even really know what happened until after sentencing. And I don't think a lot of people realize that. A lot of these interviews they did with the media, they didn't know what really happened until after sentencing.
So I have a
And
question
still, go ahead. What were you going to say?
If your kid murdered somebody, would you?
I love my child. You always are going to love your child.
Then there's your answer. If
right.
everyone was
and that's what I say to a lot of people. A lot of people, have criticized me, and it's like, how can you defend her? How do you think they're victims? And said, there are so many victims in this case. There are so many, from the coworkers he worked with, to Cindy, Sandy, Ronnie, Frank Jr. I mean, Nicole Atkinson, so many people involved are victims in this, and their lives have been forever changed. And I do feel for the Watts family. I feel like they are wrongly judged for a couple sound bites in interviews that they have done in the past, and my heart goes out to them. Honestly, they lost grandchildren, and if you watch those videos, they loved those grandkids. They really did.
Yeah, yeah, they do. Cindy's broken over that. She still breaks down all the time, and it's hard for her to talk about it.
Sure.
She still can't. It's not nothing you can accept or. I'm sorry, I'm grabbing a charger for the phone.
No, you're fine. Yeah. I'm kind of looking at the handbook here. Tell me about like how canteen works. Like how often are you like moving away from Chris? Let's talk more about what it's like being in the system and kind of the problems we are seeing in the system. Tell me first about like how does the canteen situation work?
All right. Look. Canteen. The canteen. You just hold on.
Yeah, like can you go grab food whenever you want, or is it like once a week?
Once a week. Some joints
once a week.
It's bi-weekly. This stand, I broke the selfie stick, so it's like I can't stand it up. Everybody's
You're okay. No worries.
Okay, you gotta put in an order, and then it comes to you like a week and a half later. It sucks.
Oh, commissary. That's what my friend Carrie is in our chat. She's like, see, I'm not cool, you guys. I don't know the lingo. That's why I'm talking to Dylan. I'm trying to get the lingo down. So
I'm vaping, but this is just
actually can you vape in prison if you want? Or do you have to go outside and do it?
No, you'd have to sneak it in.
But you can smoke cigarettes, right?
No. No.
Wait, so I'm watching these like old movies of people smoking cigs and playing cards, and that's really not what's going on, is it?
No, like in the early 2000s, like they said, "What do you want, shoes or cigarettes?" People wanted tennis shoes. They took away cigarettes in Wisconsin. It sucks.
Yeah. Someone here for the party has a prison question. Go ahead and throw it there. Throw it in the chat. Go ahead. I was thinking over Thanksgiving, Dylan. Tell me what it's like there on a holiday. Did they just not like, how is the vibe from the staff? Did they try to make it kind of feel like a holiday, or is it just like one regular day?
Regular day, but the food is better.
What would they have for like a Thanksgiving?
I had to decline it. Hey, TT, if you're watching, I can't answer.
Oh, someone tried to call you. No worries.
Yeah, like can't do that. Okay. I should have shut my put it on do not disturb. I don't even know how to do that yet.
Okay. Don't worry about it.
It's all good.
Here for the party, feel free to ask your questions. You know, just be respectful for them. I'm obviously going to field these questions. But so like, okay, are you guys, so the food's a little better on a holiday?
Yes. You get like pumpkin pie, whipped cream, turkey, stuff like that on a holiday. That's like the only thing you're getting. But call home and be like, "Happy Thanksgiving, everybody." It's kind of depressing. Or Merry Christmas. I've been like in the hole a lot. Like I was acting up. I was in max custody for 11 years of my prison time. Like I did 6 and
someone in the chat is asking what IS is.
IS?
I think I need can you kind of word that question a little different? It's hard for me to understand. It's the person saying that they saw you had a big sentence, but it was I-S. What's that mean? And since he's out, how does that happen?
So that's a state imposed sentence. Like if I get revoked, I got 4 years probation, but I had 5 years credit. However, if I get revoked, I get 7 years in, 4 years out. So 7 years incarcerated in prison. If I mess up on paper and go catch a case or something, so
Okay.
I have to make it off probation, and then that goes. I won't get that sentence. That's my
But you're
sentence.
you're on probation automatically, right? Like when
Yeah,
you get out of prison.
yeah. Extended supervision.
And
So I'm on
tell
ES
me a
and
little
probation.
bit about that process because kind of what unless you've experienced this, you might not know. So I kind of want to also take this time to educate other people about, like what this experience was like for you and like what is it like when you get out? I have to imagine it is weird when you get out.
Yeah,
Did you
since
feel weird for a while when you got out?
oh yeah, since 2009, I've only been out 14 months. So yeah, it's weird, but at the same time, I'm at home. I came back.
Yeah.
I got a place with my mom and out in Weston here, Wausau. If anyone's familiar in Wisconsin, I'm in Weston. It's a nice little duplex. It's kind of out of ways, so like I have to take a drive just to go anywhere. And I got out like I was in when I was in prison. I was in Max. I was in the negative environment, gang banging, drugs, all that. I went and got drug treatment coming out of prison, actually. And I've been going to get treatment every single day. So I take my sobriety very seriously. And I go every morning, I get up like 6 a.m.
Mhm.
My alarm goes off. I got to get the vehicle picks me up. I got to go like a half hour, 45 minutes after getting up and go to treatment right away willingly. It's not nothing that was sentenced. It's just to
Right.
maintain my
Keep you on
sobriety,
track.
yeah, and keep me on my toes.
One
And
thing I've heard, throughout my career in covering news and stories, as a lot of people saying that the system almost sets you up for failure when you get out. Do you feel that way?
yeah, I mean, I I have to sell books to make money, and to sell books, I have to like come out here and get in the media. Like that, I just did an interview again for Daily Mail like earlier this month. I have to do things like that
Yeah.
just to get money, like to sell my books and to keep my story relevant. Like my whole story ain't just like Chris was a chapter in my life, and we
Right.
were productive together. We wrote some spiritual books, and then I wrote that story about that chapter in my life. If you read the series, it's my it's my me, it's my story, and then I talk about that period in my life. So people are like, "Oh, he's trying to make money off of a dead woman or all the stuff I hear." Like, no, I'm just
I can't
telling
blame
my
you, Dylan.
story.
I mean, I would do the same thing, as I don't call myself a journalist anymore because of my health. I can't do that, but I will always have that interest of interviewing and learning. I think anyone who had the chance to talk to him and get in his head would absolutely do that because it's so we all rack our brains to try to figure out how a normal person can go from this to that. Um, and it makes you wonder, like, did he snap? Was he possessed? I mean,
I
I,
mean, I
I
thought
don't
that at
blame
first
you.
because when he first told me about it, I asked him. He's like, I don't remember a lot. I'm like, how don't you remember a lot? Because I speak my mind. And he's like, just he's like sighs. He's like, just wasn't my hand doing it. I don't. And I'm like, all right, we'll talk about this at another time because I didn't have patience for that stuff. But the more we grew spiritually, and like I kind of fell off from the Bible and all that stuff since then. But like I have a lot of knowledge in it, and just my mindset then. It's just he was more comfortable talking about the stuff to like when we were
Yeah.
talking.
And I think in
We
the
had like our
words
own
you
lingo.
use, yeah. Yeah. And I think everyone does, you know, they all have their own like inside jokes and lingos and ways they communicate with each other. When you use the words like it wasn't my hand, I've heard that a lot, not just from you. He said it to Sherilyn Cadle, and a lot of people took that as was
Well,
Nicole Kessinger literally behind
no.
him. They're really
Well,
reading into that
he's got a
quote.
writing that he did, and I think it was Proverbial Knowledge, one of our books. And I'll be publishing them books eventually. Now he talks about how the story of King, what was it, King Ahab, or who was with Jezebel, and how it was like it was the it was it wasn't the king's hand that killed, it was Jezebel behind him, like killed
Mm-hmm.
Nahab for his garden and his vineyard, his property. And he was talking about that story and how Jesus said, if your left hand causes you to sin, cut it off, and it's better to go into hell, or better to go into heaven maimed than into hellfire, and whatever. Like, so he had a writing about that and kind of talks about
And
that
I think
through
a
that.
lot of people were trying to figure out, did he mean that in a mental sense or a physical sense? Like, did he mean that Jezebel, Kessinger, was it her hands that did it, or was it her mentally influencing him to do it?
I'd say it was more influential than her being like, hey, kill your family and
Yeah.
let's get the house. And like if he would have
This was
divorced
kind of
his wife and lost he wouldn't have had the house, or she would have had the kids. Like he's not going to be able to afford to just start a whole nother life and provide her
right.
that
They
kind
were
of
in
woman.
major debt.
Yeah, it costs money to be with
My
her.
theory on it, Dylan, was always that Sunday night when they had that 1100-minute phone call is that she got furious and said, Chris, you need to just do something. Just do something. You figure this out or we're done. And gave him kind of like this ultimatum. And personally, I feel like she never imagined the level he was going to take it to. And that's just my theory on it.
I mean,
Other people have theories that she was there, and unfortunately we probably never will know. I want to take this question and going back to what we were talking about, and also you guys, please make sure that you go and subscribe to Dylan's YouTube channel. He is kind of relaunching it, revamping it, and give us the name of it. And I'm going to also type it in here for people.
Go on YouTube and type in the @ symbol, True Crime and Doing Time. True Crime and Doing Time. All one.
I'm going to pin this.
No spaces.
And so like Dylan's going to be talking also, you guys, about more things like what it was like on the inside, and kind of I jokingly told him, I'm like, you need to like do prison recipes and teach people like like things that they can do, and talk more positive about like if you have a friend or a family member who's incarcerated, what can you do to help them? What can you do for yourself?
I have a book that people can buy about if you have a loved one incarcerated or you are incarcerated your first day, or how, and the things you're gonna expect and go through. It's called Day One. Day with a 1. I sent you the cover. If you can get on Amazon.
And what I'll drop that link in the
Yeah,
comment
it's just a
section
white
after
book
our live stream.
with two hands hands shaking up, two hands shaking
This
hands.
question was really important to me
$8
because,
for the paperback.
like we were saying, a lot of people were like, "Don't interview him. He's just trying to make money." And I'm thinking to myself, well, what do you want the guy to do? Because
Want me to
here's
sell
one of the
drugs?
biggest problems. Or you can't get a job when you have to fill out on the application that you have a felony, right? So
And
this person,
they always say, where'd you work since 2007?
right,
That's the question, the $1 million question
right.
that kills me.
And so, and that makes it hard for you. And so this person in the comment section said, is it hard to find employment for someone after re-entering incarceration? And then this person's asking, are you working now? And that's, talk a little bit about that. Talk a little bit about like how hard it is to find employment and what your experience has been if you have tried to find a job. Like they probably don't have programs to help you get set up. It'd be interesting if the government made a program where people get out and maybe they offer you a job to work in the prison still, even when you're, on the outside doing administration work where you're not with the prisoners, but maybe you're doing something with the prison to get you re-entered into the workforce.
Yeah, that would be nice. But
so tell me, like, have you tried to apply for anything? Are you kind of just broken down at that point where you're like, I know that they're going to do a background check on me and say no?
Every time I do an interview for a job and they'll like me and be like, oh, they'll show me the factory or the kitchen or the workshop, wherever I'm doing an interview at, and then they'll be like, kind of get into my background and then find out I was in prison my entire life, most of my life, 17 years. And then they'll be like, oh, we'll give you a call. And then I get an email like 3 hours later, oh, our positions are filled. We'll keep your application on file. And then I'm like, whatever. It's kind of like just deflating.
Absolutely. Yeah. And frustrating. It's, it's like you said, it's like, do you want me to go out and sell drugs? No, of course we don't. So it makes us question, what can we do?
I've had
to help people, right? Like get a leg up when they get out. What kind of programs? And like, a lot of people make fun of like Kim Kardashian, but she is really trying to help with like prison reform and when people get out, how to get adjusted. So one thing I was thinking as you're giving me these dates, what was the most shocking thing for you to learn technology wise that changed when you got out?
Touchscreen phones. Like I was sitting here when I got out, I had my brother's phone. I'm like sitting here going like this, and he's like, you don't have to point way out here. He's like, you just got to go like this. And I'm like, still doing it. It would frustrate him.
Yeah.
I didn't know how to answer my phone one time when I was at the store. I'm like, I asked the lady that was ringing up my order, like, hey, can you answer my phone for me? She's like, sure.
And that's like another weird thing, because when you don't have access to those types of things, how can you stay current and be able to get out and get a job? Because almost every job requires you to be able to, write an email, answer a phone, do something like that. And if you're not learning those skills in there, then you're kind of out of luck, right?
Everything is just different. The mindset of people and how people conduct themselves and talk and act, and everyone's a criminal mentality or in a gang in prison, and the whole environment is ghetto, and it's not like that out here. I feel comfortable like around people in the trenches Like, I feel
Mhm.
uncomfortable out here in civilization. Still, it's an adjustment, and
Yeah, I imagine it is.
yes, it's that's that's the difficulty. But I'm getting used to
Like
it.
almost like a shell shock of,
Yeah,
just being picked up and put into a whole different environment. And I even noticed, even the way Chris spoke um, changed and was different. He kind of hardened himself and is kind of trying to act cool and tough when, you heard some of the phone calls with he talked to a private investigator at one point when he was thinking about filing the appeal he did not actually go forward with.
I raised him
But
coming in the joint. He was not. Yeah, he didn't have a spine. He was like, hey guys, you know, I
mhm,
I raised him
you kind
coming
of
into
like took
prison.
him under his,
Showed him showed
yeah.
him the ropes. Yeah,
Do you
but
feel like he was scared in the beginning stages there?
timid. Yeah,
Like scared. Yeah,
I
timid.
mean, yeah. I mean, yeah. Of course, everybody is the first time coming into prison, but him, like, everybody knew of him, and he couldn't even come out of the back hallway in Unit 11 his first 42 days there, and
Wow.
he wasn't even allowed out of his cell because of his case being so big. So,
I want
yeah,
to take this question from my friend Patty Productions. He is another awesome content creator that I want to collaborate with. We definitely have to. He is asking, was his relationship with Christina Riccello while he was in prison, um, or both? Like, now this is the gal that had a relationship with you, right? But she was constantly talking about Chris.
yeah, she never met him though. They never met. He just gave me her letter, and they never
Okay.
communicated. So if she said they did, no, they didn't. There's the most, like, he's mentioned. That's good, man. Your girl is in letters to me, like, out there trying to get our book published and stuff. And she never did. She just showed everybody. She didn't give it to no publishers or anything like I asked her to. She gave it to everybody to flaunt around and stuff. And that
Patty,
was
yeah, Patty's asking like how credible is she when she speaks? Because from what I know now, and I don't know, I haven't talked and like, spoken to her, but I do remember she was very like interested in talking to Chris Watts. She did that cellmate secret episode. I want to say it was like on Lifetime or Oxygen Channel.
oh man,
Um, where it showed that the
lifetime.
two of you had, yeah, that the two of
I was
you
mad.
were talking.
So I lost my phone privileges for 20 days, and then when I got my phone privileges back, suddenly she signed a contract with Lifetime and everything, and is like, "Oh, we're gonna do this," and I'm like, "Hold on a second, no, what are you talking about?" And I didn't know anything about it, and that's then when she's talking about she's gonna fly to Dallas to shoot that or whatever, and I'm like, I told her, I was like, "Are you interested in like what we got, or just what the public of us and the media us?"
Yeah.
She's like, "Oh, of course, just us." I'm like, "Well, if you fly to Dallas and shoot that, you fly out of my life." And that was Christmas of 2020, and she flew to Dallas, and I ended
And
things
she
with her.
did. Yeah.
Yeah. Then I did the inter.
Oh, and that
Did the
wasn't the first time.
then I did the.
I
I'm
want
like,
to say
screw it, I'm gonna
she
go on
did.
there, and that's when I did the Lifetime, because I was like, man, I'm gonna go on there and speak now since they're gonna do it
Yeah.
anyway, whatever. So I did it, and that
Yeah.
helped pay my
And
bills when I got off.
you have every right to kind of tell your side of the story too, as well. It's, I almost got a vibe like she wanted to connect to him right away, but she knew he wasn't going to respond to her, right? Because he's getting all this fan mail. So she plotted to use someone that knew him to get to him, to talk to him.
I mean, the opportunity presented itself because I wrote her, because he gave me that was like the third time he gave me a letter from one of his fans, this fan mail.
Yeah,
it was like one of his groupies, we'd call it, his groupie mail. Like, he used to read those letters to me every day. I wouldn't get mail again. I'd be like, I didn't get mail again, bro. Let me live my life through you. Who wrote? And he'd read them to me.
yeah.
He get some hate mail too, but he'd read those to me too. Some
He'd
people would
read
say
the
some
hate mail
nasty
to you.
things. Yeah, some women.
What kind of
Some women
things would
wanted
they
to.
say? Like, you're
Some
going
women
to
wanted.
hell.
Like the hate. Okay, women would like want to mail him their panties. Some women would. He'd have to go up to property because they try to send him naked pictures or something he couldn't have, and but he'd get hate mail, like, oh, one chick was like, you deserve the death sentence. You shouldn't even be alive. You need to tell people what really happened because, yeah, like stuff like that. And then he'd get really quiet after mail time, and I'd know he got a letter like that, and I'd be like, let's hear it, man. And
Yeah,
I would be a non-judgmental ear and listen, and then be like, well, screw that person, man. Just pick your head up, kind of like get him out of that funk, because some stuff like that would bother him, I could tell. But he'd get a lot of mail
yeah.
too. Like,
Like you'd get in that headspace.
there'd be a stack of mail like this, and I'm waiting for him to come down the hall with the mail. Everybody is. He gets all the mail, and then we don't, and it's like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, sometimes it is frustrating.
And you said like most of it he doesn't answer. Like from what I know now, he does have a new girlfriend. I mean, I'm not even gonna throw the name out there because that's just not what I do. Anyone can go request the open records and get her name, but from what I know, I mean, I'll use her first name, Lizzie. But from what I know, now that he's had this relationship with her, he is no longer replying to any mail from anybody because he
Yeah,
wants her to see how serious this relationship is.
he throws everything away over a woman, just like his life.
Yeah.
Sad to say. I mean, he'll go all in over a female. Like, there's got to be a balance to that. I mean, that's all. I understand. That's all he's got. Like, he's in there. When you're in prison, you really want a woman. Female companionship. It's tough. I did that most of my life alone. It sucked.
Well, people do that on the outside too, right?
I don't see how.
I
I'm doing it right now, and I shouldn't have to be, but I get out, and then the girl I was with gets locked up. So now I'm living like that.
Someone asks, did Chris talk about his daughters a lot, or did you ever hear him like crying himself to sleep or reading those bedtime stories to them out loud? Could you ever hear any of that type of thing?
No, he didn't do any of that. He talked to me about them almost like they were still alive. Like, yeah, my wife and this and that, or my
like
daughter.
in present tense.
Like yeah, like they're
still alive. Like my
in the now.
daughter likes dolls or something like that, instead of like my daughter loves dolls, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like in the now.
You think he's in denial at all?
I don't know. We have conversations about when we get out what we're gonna do and stuff. Like, sometimes I think in the back of my mind, like, yeah, I don't know. if we're gonna be like, but I keep the positive, you know, influence about the hope alive. Like, man, you could get out. You know, there's because the facts in your case, like, in his, he never even had a preliminary hearing, and his usually a murder trial like that, a big
Mhm.
high profile case, it takes a few years. His was a few months,
Right.
and that's why nobody knows anything really. Like, there's been so much stuff in the media that's been said about what happened that isn't anything that's remotely true. There's a lot of
Which
stories out
which
there.
which stories do you feel are untrue
A
in
lot.
regards to this case?
Just always something new and or something different, but really over like people people don't know why he did it, and obviously to start a new life with a girl, and
I
it
think
wasn't like he. I don't think it was premeditated because it was a they got in a fight, and I think the man didn't know his own strength and killed her. Like, not
What are
just like,
your thoughts, though, on him confessing to Sherilyn Cadle, saying he was fantasizing about this for weeks and planning it for weeks?
well, he told me about her. She was a, I'll say his words. She was a, came to him as a wolf in sheep's clothing, coming to minister to him, but out for something else. And he was
Okay.
contributing to a book for her. Like, basically, he's already screwed. Here, contribute to my book.
Yeah,
That's what I think of that.
what you gather from that. Yeah, because I, I can see a lot of people are not fans of her. Um, it, yeah, I just pulled up the pictures also of the family. I also want to mention this, you guys. If you want to do anything, I always try to talk about something positive when we are talking about some of these horrible cases. Um, the victim's family would like donations to St. Jude Hospital or the Lupus Research Foundation. So I have that up on the screen. Or this is another one. Shanann was said to have fibromyalgia. I don't know if she did or didn't, but I know this is where the victims' families would like people to donate if they want to do donations and things like that. And, while I have your attention, you guys, I just wanted to throw that up on screen. If you feel like, hey, I want to donate, I want to do something, I feel helpless because of this case, those are really good places to donate. Um, Going back to chat, feel free, you guys, also, if you do have questions for Dylan. I wanted to also bring up the prison in Wisconsin that had over 7 deaths. Were you surprised to see that in the news, Dylan?
No, no. How did this person die? One more time.
Well, there were several deaths,
The specific
ranging.
ones.
Let me pull up this article, and it wasn't at Dodge, but Wisconsin is notorious
Rapunzel Max.
for having issues. Tell me, what do you think could improve in this system? Do you think that they're short staff? What do you think could be some of these major problems they're facing?
They're very short staffed. You can hardly get to recreation anymore. And it'll be like, well, we're not running rec today because we're short staffed. Everyone's pissed. And tempers flare, and when you're in a maximum security prison, you're 23-1, unless you're in Dodge. But
I'm gonna pull
it's
this article up.
very frustrating not getting out of your cell, being able to go to rec, or when you only get that a few days a week, and they could figure that out. Yeah, they're short staffed everywhere in Wisconsin right now, and it's really
And I
bad.
don't think it's just Wisconsin, right? I think it's across the country. So I've pulled this article up, and that's what I wanted to. It was the 7th inmate in the past 2 years that has died while in custody. I think they call it Waupun Correctional Institute. Am I saying that right?
Waupun Correctional Institution. Yeah.
Okay. And compared to Dodge, how would you like rate that on a level of like, ooh, that's somewhere you don't want to go, or
Well, if like I'll say like when I was in CCI, a max, guys that have killed people in our prison have been sent there after killing. A guy killed his cellie. He was sent there. A guy named Dutch. A guy stabbed a librarian 14 times with a scissors. He was sent there right after that. A guy stabbed the CO Judd in the face and neck while in cuffs. He was sent there. Like, people get sent there after doing something crazy.
okay,
In other prisons. So you think they got a lot of, and then I hear when you go there now, just like in the max I was in, like, but when you go to Waupun, you got to get a shank right away, I guess. It's cracking there for
yeah,
Wisconsin prison, but in like mediums in Wisconsin, those are like college campus. It's sweet. It's just when you
I
get to max, it gets a little more real. You know, you're gonna fight. I just got in a fight just before I got out. Like, it's gonna happen, but not in like medium and Dodge. It'll happen there too, but it's not as like a max. But
it sounds also like a lot of the issues too are like misconduct with people, the staff that work there. There's one. Yeah, there's one guy that I connect with. He's a creator called RC Cowboy, and we talk a lot about it. He was kind of doing like security. I think it was just at like a county jail. I can't remember clearly, but like we've always had conversations about, you know, there's people who will do bad things. I mean, do you what are some things you have like witnessed staff do, or maybe let things slide or slip?
like a lot. Have another inmate go in another inmate's room and beat them up for something, or take their belt off and go in a room and fight another inmate. You know, stuff like that will happen, or um, like they could do better. Like if like if we're getting in a fight, like I was in a fight with a dude when I was in CCI, and we for like a minute and a half, like all the COs will do is sit there and mace us until the white
Mhm.
shirts and the supports team runs in and pulls us apart. So they just stand there and spray you until like a minute and a half, however long it takes for them to come running from all over. The alarms go off, and they could like do a little more maybe, and people wouldn't get super messed up and stabbed up really bad, and you know, stuff like that.
Yeah, that I always kind of like think about the
Like if there's
Dahmer case, you know, and I feel like that was possibly a situation where the guard may have been in on it by letting um
yeah, I was
Dahmer, and I cannot remember
I was there in that
Sarver,
prison.
I think is the last name.
Not when it happened, but I was there. That's where I did most of my time, in that prison where Dahmer and Sally got killed. So I heard a lot about it.
Yeah.
But
What were your thoughts on that? Do you think that that was kind of a prison guard letting things slide and letting that happen, or do you think that that was an actual slip up where they
I think
weren't?
there was no stopping that. I mean, he got they got sodomized and everything. You know, with the
Mhm.
weight bar from the weights, can't get free weights no more. You got to get cables, universals,
Yeah.
weights, because it's. I don't know if it's from that incident, but stuff like that happening. But what was
Yeah.
it? The
And I
guy?
think one of the most disturbing
I mean,
deaths in Wisconsin in the prisons was this gentleman who died of a stroke, and he wasn't found for 12 hours. And I'm like, how does that happen? I have to imagine there's a lot of times where you might actually be sick, but someone might not take you seriously. Did you
yeah,
ever
the medical
experience anything like
negligence, severe medical negligence, deliberate indifference. Like it's bad. It's,
Give me an example of like, okay, if you started to feel like you're coming down with the flu, what would the procedure be to try to get help? Or is that a case where like they don't care?
put in a blue slip, and that means you put in a slip. It goes in a mailbox, and then at third shift, they will like send it to medical. A medical will respond to it a day or two later, and then write you back and say, "Oh, you'll be seen." Then you go get seen, and then it's just a nurse taking your blood pressure and your temperature, and then they say, "Okay, we will uh, give you some Tylenol and put you down to see, or write us again, and if you're feeling terrible, we will maybe put you down to see a doctor." And by the time you see somebody, it's you're already either
You're
healed
better.
or better or not. That's the process, and they're
Yeah,
medical.
that is probably
I didn't know
yeah, the scariest thing to me.
I've
Like,
had skin cancer since 2021. I'm in the first stages, but I didn't know I had it until I finally went to a dermatology just last year while I was in jail. So I
when
have to go get light
while you were
treatments
in
three
jail,
times. Yeah,
how
three
did
times
that
a
how
week.
did that come to light? Like, how did you figure that out?
Because like that was like my thing where I had all that stuff in my skin and products in that article we were talking about. But I
Yeah.
have like these spots like the backs of my legs and stuff, and like these red. It burns if I don't have put stuff on it like oil, grease, A&D, whatever on it. And they were giving me like all the stuff,
So
like all the triamcinolone, the creams you can get, clobetasol. None of that stuff would like make it go away. And they were just
how'd
gave
you
me
get
their
to the
creams
point where
for
you were
years.
actually how are you able to even get to the point to like meet with a dermatologist? Because I have the impression that they want to just have a regular like medical doctor
I
care
got it
for
done in
care for people and
yeah
avoid having UC specialists.
yeah they try. I mean they try to avoid that, but obviously, or I would have knew years ago because I've had the spot since 2021, and I've been always putting in slips all the time, and they just
Mhm.
give me stuff for temporary relief, like not nothing that would work, and nothing was working.
Curing
It's just
it,
like, oh,
more
I'm guessing, oh, it's
like
probably just
treating
this or
the
that.
symptoms.
Yeah, but now I'm out and I'm going to get these light treatments 3 times a week: Monday, Wednesday, Friday in the morning. After I go to the clinic for my drug treatment, then I go there and then I come home.
Yeah,
Oh, you were asking about like
kind of like
cooking and stuff. I still use like ramen seasoning if I'm frying up like some chicken and put in some rice and like instead of like regular seasoning or like the way I cook is really good, but prison style, I would say.
Yeah.
But we used to have to like take a cord, plug it in, put some salt in the water, and we don't have a microwave in max security, and then put the like paper clips in the Norelco razor cord, and then drop it in the water, and then it'll use salt for the conductor, and it'll bubble, it'll boil. And then put your stuff in like the bags and put it in the water, and that's how you cook. Call it stinger.
Did they have tablets yet when you were there, or are they in the process of still getting that?
They just got them, and that changed the game. Like we instead of going to, people were getting in fights over the phones and stuff because some units there'd be like 100 guys and 2 phones, and some institutions and on units, and it would cause a lot of problems. But now problems went away, and you can get Pluto TV like movies. It's kind of like Netflix. You can get the cable side, and you can get $15 a month. That's it, and you can get thousands of movies. You can just like seasons of things of like The Walking Dead or Z Nation or 60 Days In. I watched all the 60 Days In when I was in prison.
Wow, that's interesting. So the tablets, is it something that you have to purchase, or is it kind of just a privilege, like having access to the toilet and things like that? Or is this
everybody
like
gets a tablet?
You buy it?
No, you don't buy it.
Everyone gets a tablet. Okay.
Yeah.
And I assume that there's a way to make phone calls and do emails, but not like the way we do it on the outside. So does that mean you could be communicating all day long if you wanted to, or is there a time restriction on these tablets?
Just during count, they shut the phones off, but you could be on there all day long.
Wow, that does change the game, doesn't it?
Yeah. You can be on the phone all you want now. It costs people out here a lot of money now that I'm on the other side of it. With someone in jail, it's costing a lot of money. I'm running through all my money.
What does it cost, like, to do like an hour-long phone call with someone?
Like sitting if someone's in county jail right now, that would cost me $20. Mm-hmm. But in prison, 15 minutes is $1.90. So it's cheap. Prison, it's like 6 cents a minute. But in county jail, it's about 20 some cents a minute. So way more.
And then are you free to go to kind of church whenever you want, or chapel whenever you want, or are there certain times that you have to go?
Times and days. And you sign up for it, and you can go when they call chapel. You can't just like go there whenever, but you can put in to go. Put in a slip and get on the list.
And what are visitations like? Weekly?
Visitations, you get 3 a week, and you get 1 video visit a week. Like, so if your people are like halfway across the world, you can get one of those 1 20-minute visit a week. But you can on video, but you can and not on the tablet. You have to do it in the day room or in another room. But visits in person, you get 2 during the week and 1 on the weekends.
And 1 on the weekend.
Yeah,
and like how long are those visits?
3 hours.
Okay, because I remember I don't know, it was probably like last year sometime. I did an open records request, and I was like just curious who had been visiting Chris, and it was only the girlfriend Lizzie. And at one point she had a 3-hour visit, and I was just kind of like, man, that sometimes I feel like it would be weird, like you would run out of things to talk about for 3 hours, but probably not.
On a weekday it's 3 hours. On a weekend it's 2 hours. If you're coming from out of state, it's 2 extra hours onto your visit. So if it's a weekday, 5 hours from out of state, but you got to put in for it. And then on a weekend, 4 hours. If you're
and are there guards sitting like right close by where you're not really having these private conversations that you want to have?
You can have private conversations. I mean, talk loud enough they can hear you. There's a guard at the desk, but there's a bunch of people in there visiting. Like, and when you come in, you can kiss, hug. Just don't like grab no ass or anything, or don't get caught doing it. But you can get away with quite a bit though. But that's about it. There's no conjugal visits or nothing.
Even if you're married, there's nothing like that.
No, or I would have been married a while ago. So there's nothing like that.
Yeah, a lot of people were going crazy when they heard that Chris was trying to get remarried. I knew that upset the Watts family because they felt it was very disrespectful to Shanann's family, but apparently Chris didn't care.
You talking about Anna, right?
And
back
no, I'm talking about the new girlfriend, Lizzie.
Because we were talking about that back then. But Anna was married.
Was he talking to Lizzie when you guys were friends?
No, this is new. Back then he was with Anna, then they broke up. Then I started talking to Anna, and then I stopped talking to her because that would have been weird. But he's talking to, this is another new chick. I don't know.
She's been around for a year, which was like kind of shocking to me. And I'm not gonna put this woman's business out there and everything, but she did end up moving out to Wisconsin, which probably obviously makes more sense, like you said, if you're able to be getting visits during the week.
Yeah.
Not just weekends.
She's got a lifetime to do if she's dedicated to be with a man and be real to a man locked up and be celibate. Then you go, girl. I mean,
have you ever thought about doing that? Have you seen that show, Life After Lockup?
Love After Lockup?
Yes. Or Love After Lockup. I mean, there's two different ones. There's Life After Lockup and there's Love After Lockup. It's kind of interesting to see how these people have to adapt to, like you explained, it's two different worlds, and you're trying to adapt to it when you get outside.
Yeah, I've seen the Love After Lockup, but I mean, I'm living it, so it doesn't really pique my curiosity much.
Yeah.
So this is a everyday thing for me.
Yeah. That is so interesting. I want to thank you so much, for taking the time to chat with me this evening. Are there any kind of last thoughts that you have about how the prison system could be better for people coming out and restarting their lives over again?
Maybe next time we could touch more on that.
Yeah, definitely. And before I wrap with you,
This is a spur of the moment thing that we did doing this interview.
Yeah, absolutely.
So people know, we just decided this 3 hours ago.
Yeah.
This was just random.
I'm putting up your channel again, True Crime and Doing Time. If you guys want to go check out more, Dylan's also going to add this interview to his channel. He plans to go live on his own channel soon, and throw suggestions at him, you guys, of
I was asking you how to tell me how to go live. You sent me that link for that, how to StreamYard or
definitely download StreamYard, but you don't even need StreamYard. StreamYard is more for like doing interview style like this, but I think my best advice is just like going for it. Sometimes we overthink, like, what should I do? What should I say? What should I talk about? And I think that you could jump on YouTube and kind of talk about, hey, this situation happened one time, or show us, some of the things that you made food wise, how you guys did tattoos, just kind of give us like a behind the scenes look at life was like.
How to like write and publish a book. I have a lot of knowledge and a lot of things. I'm just right now on here letting you kind of run the show and answering questions, and could always do this again. I'm just
absolutely practice.
Just getting practice right now.
Absolutely.
I haven't been out here and done one of these in a long time.
I know, and it can be like awkward because like we were talking about, the technology changes. So definitely, once this also uploads, if you guys have questions for Dylan, go ahead and drop them in the comment section, and I'm sure he'll answer if he's able to or wants to. But I really appreciate you taking the time to chat with us and talking about your experience in Wisconsin.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you having me on here, and it's been fun.
Okay, and we'll talk soon. And like I said, I will definitely send you this this interview so you can put it on your channel.
Oh, and I already said that earlier. It's fine. But yeah, that's good you're back out here doing this after what happened. For everybody that doesn't know.
Oh yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, so I'm glad to come out here and talk to you, and appreciate you having me. But yeah, at True Crime and Doing Time on YouTube, I'm gonna start learning how to utilize my channel, where I have social media too. Snapchat, Dylan Tallman 25, or Dylan Tallman author on Instagram, or Dylan Tallman with the hat that's on the back of my books. That picture is my Facebook and Messenger.
Yeah, so, and I'll drop all of those links after we wrap this at the top of the comment section. Thank you so much again. Yeah, so, and we'll put the links to like all of those books as well.
Okay.
Thank you. So you guys, thank you so much. And like I said, anytime we kind of talk about these serious topics, I also want to give an opportunity to remind people that they can donate to St. Jude. Was one of the foundations that the victims' families were very fond of. Lupusresearch.org. And for me personally, breast cancer.org and the National MS Society are organizations that I like to donate to. I'm a recent breast cancer survivor, and I do struggle with multiple sclerosis every day of my life. So that can be a challenge. And so definitely come on back, subscribe. If you're new here, please give this a thumbs up and a like. I, just wanted to recap some of what we talked about with Dylan. 7 inmates have died between June 2023 and March of 2025. Some of this is fentanyl overdose. One of them was a stroke, dehydration. And there's several other cases that are under investigation, which is very worrisome. I know when I used to work in a newsroom on the assignment desk, I would get calls from family members and inmates saying, my loved one is not getting medical attention, not getting medical care that he needs or she needs. And that is, it's pretty scary to think about that. The investigations are ongoing in Wisconsin, and a lot of these deaths are still being looked at. And same with some of the staff members and abuse cases, a lot of things being investigated. And we all know that Wisconsin is not the only issue, right? I mean, this is countrywide. And as much as you might want to joke and make fun of someone like Kim Kardashian, she really is trying to work and send a message about prison reform. This is something kind of new I'm all learning about, and thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about. So thank you all. Please don't forget to like, subscribe if you haven't. I said I wasn't going to do true crime anymore, but I'm definitely going to be trying to do a little more lifestyle content, but balance with a little true crime in the sense of cases that are still unsolved or cases that I think have an impact or can make a change. So thank you guys so much for joining me this evening. And don't forget to go over and take a look at Dylan's channel. Throw ideas at him of things you might want to see or stories you might want to hear about. Thank you guys again, and I hope you have a fantastic weekend.